When you are in school, there is a subject of geography. And one of the things very, very critical you study is international deadline. But have you ever asked yourself, what happens if you go and you cross that international deadline? What happens exactly? Many people, we are talking about hypothetical. But for me, I'm going to tell you the practicality of it, because I crossed that international deadline twice. I crossed that international deadline while I was in the US Navy. We are doing the deployment. So what happens if you cross the international deadline? Welcome everyone, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo EBM, and this is my show. I have two YouTube channels, youtube.com/EBM Scholars, youtube.com/EBM Swahili, and if you go to podcast, there is EBM Scholars podcast and EBM Swahili podcast. Check them out. So I was in the United States Navy. I served on the active duty basis, and I was stationed in San Diego under the ship called DDG, Guided Missile Destroyer, DDG 880 USS Preble. That is the ship at that time. It was in California, San Diego, but now the ship has moved the base, the home base from San Diego now is in Hawaii. So when we do deployment, if you were in the smaller ships, when I say smaller ships, I'm talking of the ship which can carry 300 to 500 people. That is a smaller ship, because there are bigger ships like carrier can have 5,000 people at once in the carrier. But destroyer is a smaller ship, about 300 to 500 people in the ship. So because I was in California, we travel our deployments through the Pacific Ocean. So we go to our deployment was 7 months, 7.5. We left, it was almost 8. We left in March and we came back in November before Thanksgiving. So we started from San Diego, we went to Hawaii. From Hawaii, we are going to Japan. While we are going to Japan, before going to Japan, they say, oh, by the way, you needed to go to Philippines. So we are going to Philippines. Before arriving in Philippines, you can see Philippines at that corner, and the way you can see you are closer, you can also see some beds, whatever, all those kind of things. So then we told you to take a U-turn to go to South Korea. At that time, there was a situation with North Korea back in 2013. So we had to go to South Korea, and then later we went to Japan. From Japan, we went to what is this smaller? I went to Palau. Then from Palau, we went to Guam. From Guam back to Japan. Japan to Australia. Australia. Then we started coming back to Hawaii. Then Hawaii back to San Diego or back to California. So that was a long, but one trip can take like from one country to another depending on what mission you are going to do. Sometimes there are certain special exercises you are doing on the way, depending with if you are working with the other countries, like Australia Army Navy can come have special training with you, all those kind of things. So it can take maybe a month, sometimes take like 20 days. The funny part is there is a regulations that if you travel for 40 days straight, they will allow to give beer for those people who drink beer, because it is, I don't know, so many days without beer. So it's very interesting in the Navy. So, but while we are going to Australia, so we are going to Japan. Japan going to Australia. So whatever, there is one point you are supposed to cross the international deadline. So crossing that line, so the first time we were crossing going, it was on Monday. I don't remember, it was March 24. I think it was March 24, I think, whatever kind of that. But it was a certain date. I remember it was, was on Thursday. When we were coming was Monday. So let me start with when we are going. So when we are going, So we reach at that date, on that deadline, the ship, first of all, we turn it off. Something very Navy traditional. So they turn it off, completely off. And then they call the swim call. That means if anybody wants to swim, can jump from the ship, go to swim in the Pacific Ocean. Obviously, there are some people around there. They will be having their guns just in case if shark comes around. But will I jump from the ship to the ocean and swim? Never. Yes, I know how to swim, especially after being in the Navy. Yes, I had a training to jump from 25 feet on the beam going to the swimming pool, which is 25-30 feet going down, and we swim 100 whatever, the football pitch, like 100 meters, whatever, you swim up to the end. But that is still in the swimming pool. Yes, it is deep, 20-30 feet down, but it is still a swimming pool. I will never trust myself to swim, to jump from the pool, from the ship to the ocean. What if I go down and I don't come up? That's my mind was going on, because on the pool, no matter how deep it is, even if it be 30 feet, I can go down. I know I'll reach at my head is already telling me you reach at one point, then you can come up. So people went to swim, whatever they did, they're swimming. Then from there, so at the moment we crossed that line, we jumped one calendar day. So there is one lady had a birthday. So let's say that birthday her birthday was like 25th, and we're on 24 on this day. So when we crossed the line, we jumped into 26. So we didn't leave the 25th of March, whatever it was, March or April, I don't remember. But we didn't leave that day because we jumped. That is what happens when you cross that line. So then when we are crossing back from it was cool, because when you cross back, the days are going so fast towards the deployment. But when we are coming back, we are excited. Like, how many days left? They are just like maybe 25 days left to arrive in Hawaii. And when you arrive in Hawaii, you are, oh, I'm back in America. Though still you still have to go to San Diego for more days, but you are already excited. You are going back to home, back home. And then when we cross that line on the way back, and sometimes they don't tell you until that day. So when we are crossing back, so that lady, first of all, the one who had the birthday, so we skipped. She didn't leave on her birthday, so we skipped the date because that's how it is. But they had to make a special cake because she was the only one in the entire ship. So when we are coming back, so it was on Monday. So instead of going to Tuesday, we leave the Monday for 2 days, like 2 days, like today is Monday and tomorrow is Monday. You see how crazy it is? So I don't know, how do we call it? Did we lose a day or whatever? It is crazy. So international deadline is real. It's not like hypothetical. Oh, when you got this number, when you got these days, oh, you calculate on numbers, whatever, on your geography, and you get A. It's the real thing. We crossed the line and we leave the Mondays, 2 Mondays, like crazy, yeah? And when we are crossing, going to the Pacific, going to Japan, going to Australia, when we crossed that line, we jumped a date. When we are coming back, we lived a day, 2 times we lived the same day. It's crazy, but that's how international deadline is. So it was a very good experience for me to be part of that and going there. And usually while we were in the Navy, there are special training or exercises you get, kind of like, it's not hazing, it's something very interesting. Usually you do while you are before you cross that line, international line, and there's a special certificate you are given for that, which I have, which is my military record, military documents, which I have kept in one of the places. So that is something I want to share about the military background and the funny things about the Navy when you do some deployments. I'll give some stories more for those people who want to join the military, especially the deployment of the Navy. How is it, the difficulties and the funny part of it, the easy part, the difficulty of it, whether you are single, whether you are married, what makes the difference of the two. But those are the few things I want to share with you.